guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got a project that I want to work on today. Let me show you what's going on. So you may notice here that all of the floor panels in the cargo area of Rusty are out. And I picked up some components from Wilwood or Wilwood or however you want to say it. First, I want to give you a disclaimer here that these should only be installed by someone experienced and competent. I'm neither one of those, so if that frightens you, this probably isn't the best video for you. Anyhow, let me show you what I came across here. I've got a rotor. This is 11 3/4 inch rotor, and that's the diameter. And a parking brake caliper that's cable actuated. Now, if you remember in my build series, I have a cable actuated drum brake for a parking brake. I've actually gone through the original one. This is a spare one that I have because remember I have a spare transmission and all the goodies that go with that. This is a spare one. But I went through the one that's on the Snowcat right now and replaced the brake pads and all the springs and, cleaned it up and everything. And it still doesn't work worth a crap. So this is kind of going to be the beginning of a solution for me as far as braking goes with the Snowcat, because pulling back on both sticks and then trying to reach the shifter to put it into neutral is tending to be a bear of an issue for me. It feels like you need something to push with your foot to stop. That's what it feels like when you're driving a car and stuff. And it's probably because I'm not used to driving a Snowcat all the time. However, it would be nice to have a foot brake. So bear with me here. So basically what I have to do today is figure out how to get this perfectly centered on the existing drum. And then of course I have to chop the drum part off and all that good stuff, but we'll get to that in a minute. What I ultimately want to do is, here's kind of a diagram that comes with the instructions. So you have a parking brake that sits at the top, and then 90 degrees from that, you have a regular caliper brake. So there's another picture in here. Here's how it kind of sits. You only see part of it, but so what my goal is to get this parking brake set up, and I could actually probably use it as a foot brake at that point. However, it's not going to have the stopping power that a larger 4-piston caliper would have. So I want to get the parking brake set up today, which is going to require getting the disc mounted to the drum, modifying the drum, taking the original setup apart in the Snowcat, and then fabricating a bracket for the caliper. This basically has bolt points on here, 3/8 24 bolts, which I bought a handful of different sizes, and then those bolt to like a bracket or whatever. We'll come up with a solution for that. I have plenty of steel sitting around to make that happen. And then once we get that dialed in, test it out up at the mountain, see how it works. We'll most likely be going to a hydraulic 4-piston caliper and an actual hydraulic foot brake. And I moved the sticks around one more time to a position where they normally sit in an old 1960s Spryte. So it's still dark outside. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But for right now, what I'm going to focus on doing is trying to get this disc mounted to the drum and getting the drum modified. So let's start working on that. By the way, I forgot to mention, these were very inexpensive. I think this was 40 bucks shipped and this was about 120 bucks shipped. So I will leave a link in the description for these parts as always, in case some of you want to try and follow along or recreate or whatever the case may be. Alright guys, this project took a lot longer than I thought it would. This is probably going to be part 1 of 2, but check it out. I did get it mounted and it looks awesome. Kind of hard to get a view in there, but so I still have to connect the drive shaft. I've got to tie wrap a couple cables up, but it fits in there perfect, and I made a super heavy duty bracket for it. I welded a bunch of gussets and supports onto it, so way more than you could ever imagine that you would need. I have to figure out a different cable routing so that I can get that cable under the transmission and then going into that brake. But I think this is going to work out a lot better than the drum brake that was on there. And there's plenty of room for a hydraulic caliper, like right here if I want to add another one for a hydraulic actuated brake rather than just the parking brake cable. So yeah, this opens up a lot of possibilities. Wasn't too hard to do. It was pretty easy to get that centered using some washers as spacers. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it quits for today and probably come back out here tomorrow and get the cable situation fixed and then get it connected and then adjusted so that it's working good, and then get the drive shaft put back in and reinstall the interior. Hopefully I can get all that done tomorrow. But for now, I think that's probably going to be it for this episode, guys. If you like this episode, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, we'd love to have you as a subscriber. But as always, stay tuned, take care of each other, and I'll catch you next time. See you later. Bye-bye.